Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. If you're a fan of Gray Zone Warfare, you're in for a treat today. We're diving into the highly anticipated Winds of War update, which is currently in an exclusive early preview for content creators like myself. This update is probably the most important thing that has happened to the game since its initial early access launch. And all points are looking to a launch here really shortly. Now, I'll break down everything you need to know about what's included in the update, why there's an early preview, and how you can get involved with the Twitch Drops campaign that's coming up. So let's just jump right in. So what exactly is the Winds of War update? It's not just another patch, it's a game changer. I know those tropes get overused a lot, but it really does mean it with this one. This update introduces a ton of new content and mechanics that are going to push Gray Zone Warfare more into a PvP game than it is just a PvE game. And it's going to be a whole new experience for everybody, even if you've been playing this for the last year. Some of the highlights are things like combat outposts. These are new points of interest, also known as cops. You'll hear that used word a lot, and they're scattered across the map, and they function as places you can capture. Now, once your faction takes one of these over, it provides a bunch of kind of unique strategic things that you can do here. You can access your lockers, you can access the vendors, sell and trade stuff, put stuff in your stash, obviously. And this adds both a strategic layer to not just the PvE, but the PvP as well. Because instead of having to constantly take helicopters back and forth to turn tasks in and do things, you can stay in the field more. In my early preview, once I left the base, I didn't go back for probably 4 or 5 hours. I was bouncing from cop to cop, just doing what I needed to do out in the field versus going all the way back to the base. Now, there's also going to be a bunch of new weapons and gear, all kinds of armor, weapons, things like the SVD and MCX are the two I was looking the most forward to. But there's, weapon cases and gear cases and all sorts of stuff to help inside the stash, along with a kind of a reworked ballistics system, where they've added some more twists and takes to this to help players feel a little bit less squishy, as well as make the bullets you use feel more impactful. Now, one of the first things you're going to notice when you load in is the dynamic weather system they've added. So not only do we have the day-night cycle, which we got back in November, we're now getting weather. And boy, is it impactful. Rain, the fog, the wind, all of this stuff is super immersive and it changes dynamically and it adds so much to the game. Based on this, you'll have to adapt your tactics. Fighting at night before was a little bit difficult, but now if it's night and raining, man, it makes it so much more difficult to do anything, which just adds that extra little bit of layer of intensity and fun to how you go about doing stuff that you might have already done before. Now, in addition to this, the combat outposts and stuff like that, there are tons of new areas to explore, expanding they're not making the world bigger, but they're filling it out. And this is a huge step in that process of getting the game through its early access process to up to tier with a lot of others with how much is just going on in the world. I'll be the first to admit, when Gray Zone first launched, you had huge open spaces that were just nothing but rice paddies and open fields, and there was nothing to it. You took a helicopter from a point to a point, and everything in the middle was just flyover space. But they're adding so many more locations that some are involved with tasks, some are not, but they're just interesting places to explore. So the map really is in a whole new place. If you have not played since last year, you're barely going to recognize some of the areas as you move around. Now, back to the PvP side of thing, they've added these PvP zones, and these are, I say they're designated areas, but basically whenever anybody in your faction comes under attack, a little red circle pops up and says, hey, there's a PvP fight going on here. So you know where to go get into a PvP fight if you want, or where you need to defend, or if you're not looking for it at all, you can avoid those zones and try to get some of your tasks done. All in all, it's a great addition to help with the various game loops in the game right now. Now, with quality of life, we got all sorts of stuff. They've made several changes to the UI, and the big one everybody cares about is performance. And yes, the performance is better. I can't speak to it to others. I play on a monster machine. I have a high-end Intel chip and a 4090. So the game has always run pretty okay for me. But right now I don't have frame gen on, but with DLSS, which the game still looks great in, I have my frames capped at 160 and it runs there pretty much the whole time. It'll dip down a little bit here and there, but the game has been running great for me. And from what I've heard from people with less powerful systems, it is running better for them as well. Now, you've probably seen this update is so substantial. There's a lot of people calling it the Gray Zone Warfare 2.0. And honestly, I can see why. It's packed with content that's going to keep players engaged for months. Now, you might be wondering why I'm talking in such detail about this update before it's even out, and that's because I'm one of the lucky content creators who was given access early to the Winds of War in their preview play. Basically, they gave us all fully upgraded traders, a bunch of money, and said just go beat each other to death in PvP. And for the last few days and the next few, that's pretty much what we're doing. A bunch of content creators like me got to explore all these new features before they've been released to the public, and that release is coming pretty quick. Now, I know this always stirs up a lot of debate about it and why the devs are doing this, and it's a smart move on their behalf. First, it lets us creators showcase the new content, build hype, and give you guys a sneak peek. Second, allows us to provide a bunch of feedback to the developers themselves, ensuring that the update is as polished as possible when it does go live for everybody else. We fight through some of the annoying issues and bugs that hopefully they can address before it goes to a broader audience. This just makes for a better experience for all of you guys. Now, believe it or not, most games already do this. They just usually do it under the wraps of an NDA. They don't want all their dirty laundry and bad stuff being seen by everybody. And that's one of the reasons I really like this about Madfinger. They do this in a transparent, out in the open way, so you can see both the good and the bad. And there is ups and downs to this. There is some people in the community that get upset, but it's how they've chosen to do it, and they've been pretty consistent so far. So if you're watching this, you're getting an exclusive look at what's coming, but it's not going to be that exclusive because you'll have access to it here in a couple of days, I think. Over the next few days, I'll be streaming my gameplay, so make sure to check out my Twitch or YouTube. I'm streaming on YouTube as well, but it's on Twitch for live reactions, to answer questions, and maybe show you stuff if you want to see something specific. Now, on to the drops and what is probably indicating when they're going to go live with this. They announced this morning, that drops are going to start on May 22nd. This campaign is going to run till June 14th. That means you can earn exclusive in-game rewards just by watching the streams of Gray Zone Warfare. And that's for most of the time. There is a support a creator section. I'll talk about that in a second. That requires you to have a paid sub to a streamer to get some of the items, but most of them are just going to be free just if you're watching a streamer. Some of the things they're going to have, obviously, you're going to have apparel, skins and stuff in the game, some exclusive weapons that you can get that you can't get anywhere else, as well as other goodies, various in-game items, just to show you, just to give you stuff, just the way drops usually are. I think it's a pretty safe bet you're going to see it on the 22nd. What time, I don't know, but if you're getting off work on Wednesday, I would expect to, or is it Wednesday or Thursday? 22nd, I think it's Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. So if you're getting off work on Thursday, you should probably be able to download the update and get your hands on the Winds of War update yourself. Now, as far as the drops, there are different tiers of rewards based on how much you watch. So the more you tune in, the more you get. And yes, my stream will be part of this campaign, so you can support me and earn cool stuff as well. As always, these drops are a great way to bring the community together. It's an incentive to check out the new update. So just make sure you mark your calendars 22nd to the 14th and watch a streamer somewhere to get your stuff. Now, if you're already playing Gray Zone Warfare, this update is going to breathe new life into the game. The new features, especially the combat outposts and PvP stuff, are going to shake things up in a big way. For those of you that have been on the fence, now might be the time to finally jump in. With performance getting better and these new features, it's really a brand new game. On top of that, there's going to be a price increase on the 22nd, I believe. Madfinger's way of looking at it, I guess, is the more content they add, the prices are going to go up. And it's a $5 increase across the board, $5 USD. I'm not sure what that is everywhere else. But again, keep in mind, this is an early access game. It is not complete. You are playing something that is in the middle of its development cycle. They've probably only got about half the content that they have on their 3-year roadmap is up. But they've been incredibly responsive to the community and its feedback, not just from streamers, but people in their Discord as well. And updates like this show me they're committed to making Gray Zone Warfare one of the best tactical shooters out there. Now, they've done a whole marketing campaign saying they're not an extraction shooter, and I get it. I'm not here to argue that. In my mind, this still fits into that genre, though it is something very unique and different by itself because of its persistent world. You know, it doesn't matter if you log in or out, this stuff stays the same. And this is only going to be more apparent with the Winds of War update and the cops, as you could log in and your faction could own all of the points, or somebody could have taken all the points by your base. So it's going to be an interesting experience every time you log in. And this does really feel like a turning point in the game, adding more content outside of that PvE realm and in that PvP realm that I think is going to help keep players hooked and playing for longer. And because of that, I honestly can't wait for you guys all to experience and see your feedback for it. So to wrap things up, here's what you need to know. Winds of War update is probably launching on May 22nd. It's packed with tons of new features with the outposts and new weapons, dynamic weather, new trader, quality of life stuff, and many other things. Now, content creators like me have early access, so say you have the streams to go watch if you want to see the content now. And then from May 22nd to June 14th, there's going to be a pretty extensive Twitch drops campaign to earn exclusive rewards. So if you're excited as this update as I am, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming content about Grayzone or the other games I'm talking about. I'll be streaming during this live preview and after the update launches so you can see all the new features in action. But with that, we'll wrap her up. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in Lemang.